Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Geekalypse Now. I am your host, Caretaker.
I'm Burly Badger.
I'm Snowballs.
I'm Scorps.
And it was kind of a dry week, pretty much, for certain types of news. I mean,
For all types of nerd news, really.
you had to pretty much go prospecting or go digging for a good amount of news to talk about.
Yeah, I'd say we got about 5 or 6 just from sitting here taking our time to start the podcast.
Yeah, we're starting a little later than usual, but before we get into all that, Burley and I went and saw the Magnificent Seven remake this past Friday.
Oh yeah,
I
How
thoroughly,
was it?
It was amazing, actually.
I thought it was really good. I didn't think it was amazing. I enjoyed it. It wasn't as cliche as I thought it was gonna be. But
there were some cliche parts to it, obviously.
Of course, it's a Western. It has to have some cliches, or it's just not going to be a Western.
A Hollywood Western at that.
Yeah. But all in all, it was good. I'm seeing things about it being like the #1 movie in America on commercials, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, what else came out this weekend? That's going to be as good with, Denzel Washington and, Chris Pratt all in the same movie.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't you ever noticed that every movie is the best movie released?
Oh, yeah. Every movie that comes out, #1 movie in America, because some person decided that it was like the best movie that came out this year, so they're like, "Oh, we're using that quote in the in the commercials for the movie."
Someone said on Twitter, "Go ahead and that's a quote."
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend it. I thought the movie looked beautiful. Also, I kind of looked this up as a person who loves music. This is actually James Horner's last score before he died. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this was his last work. So if you're a big fan of James Horner, it's not his best work, but I enjoyed it. So it was worth just hearing his last piece of work, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So definitely go check it out if you like westerns and actions and shooters, everything like that.
Yep. It's good.
Yeah. So jumping over to the little bit of movie news.
More movie news.
Yep. Excuse me. CEO of Time Warner says that the Ben Affleck Batman solo movie is about 1.5 years out. This is a direct quote from him, actually, saying it's 1.5 years out. Like, the casting's pretty much done, the plot and writing's all pretty much done. They just need to start filming it.
And they have to start refilming it. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, reshoots are a thing.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I'll reserve judgment until 1.5 years from now.
Yeah. That's about where I'm at.
Same.
Ditto.
Yeah.
If they take their time on it, hopefully it's good. If it's not good, I'm going to be upset. That's about it.
Well, I mean, think about it this way, though. See, the first Star Wars movie was supposed to release the Christmas before it came out, so... So, things can happen.
Yeah. I just want to say Ben Affleck is my favorite Bruce Wayne so far. But this could go south really quickly without him having any control over it, so... just like you guys, I'll also reserve judgment until it's released.
Well, I thought he was going to be the director of the movie, too.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean people high up in WB aren't going to show up and herp-a-derp everything.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do a little bit more DC news real quick. Hang on a second, what are you telling me? Okay. Anywho, let's go ahead and go a little bit more into DC news for TV this time. The season 2 premiere of Legends of Tomorrow is actually going to be taking place in the 40s.
Yeah, just the premiere so far as we know.
Yeah.
Like the first episode.
Well, I mean, season 1, we're going to get into... It's not really too much spoilers. We're not going to give away any plot points with this. But there's like one episode took place in the 70s. Did any episode take place in the 60s?
Probably. I know there was some Cold War stuff in there.
Well, there was a episode.
Oh wait, no, that was the 70s. Never mind.
There was an episode that took place in the 50s. I remember that.
Yeah, and in the Western times and etc.
It also took place in the far future too. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to look at because I actually kind of like that time period. So,
Rip's a pretty mediocre doctor, I have to say. But at least he had training from another one beforehand, or else he would be awful.
Same trench coat from the doctor before the one he trained with, though.
Yeah.
Okay. That's about it for Legends of Tomorrow for now. I mean, this is all I could find for interesting news. So, let's go and go down to the next topic. Star Wars Rebels Season 3 premiered this week. It kind of shot up at us out of nowhere.
Yeah, we weren't expecting it. I don't really watch the Disney Channel. I just have my Star Wars Rebels recordings set, and then we were looking at the DVR because we were gonna watch Gotham and Agents of Shield last night, and then we saw that and we were like, well, I guess we're gonna watch this too.
It was a good premiere too.
Oh yeah, it was a great premiere. It's probably my favorite season premiere that they've done for that or Clone Wars. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm not really digging. It's gonna take a little bit for me to grow on Ezra's new hairstyle. It's all
it looks weird.
It's a buzz cut. It's a completely drastic change from having his medium to about medium length long hair.
Yeah, I honestly thought they made his hair look stupid to begin with, but as opposed to talking about boy hair, I have to say that I think his lightsaber's cool. I love that he's using a blaster and a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I'm just happy for the premiere.
Yeah.
In general.
One of our guys who's on the podcast with us right now hasn't really seen much of Rebels, so we won't get too much into spoilers for him.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, you guys, anybody want to take this next bit of news?
I'll take it. I'm very happy to say that Samuel L. Jackson said that S.H.I.E.L.D. will be returning to the Marvel comic book universe, which hopefully will, at least to a small extent, unify the show and the movieverse again, or possibly that means they're going to get rid of the show. I don't know. They said that they weren't going to be keeping them unified because it was a lot of effort. They have to keep up with continuity. They have to schedule episodes to sync up with movie releases, and it's almost definitely a nightmare to keep everything lined up and straightened out. But yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s going to be coming back to the movieverse, and I don't know who the director's going to be, but it's exciting, to me at least.
We'll say we got to see the director for the new season last night, and it was kind of interesting. We'll give our thoughts on that whenever Burley and I do our Saturday or Sunday show, depending on how my internet's going to be.
Yeah.
My internet was being a pain in the ass this past Saturday because I was going to release that show we were going to do, or we do nowadays. Yeah. I was going to release it on Saturday, but my internet was being a poop.
Yeah, a complete poop.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyone want to Snowballs, you want to take this next one?
Yeah, I'll take this next one.
All right.
Sam Neill, an actor who you might remember from Jurassic Park. He played Grant, Dr. Alan Grant. Mm-hmm. He has been announced for the Thor Ragnarok movie. No word yet who he's going to be playing, but he's an amazing actor. So I'm excited.
Have they confirmed dinosaurs yet?
Not yet, but sources are speculating that no.
Okay. I mean, I just want to see Thor beat up a T-Rex with Mjolnir. I don't think that's asking for a lot.
Now they go back. Somehow Thor gets transported into the Jurassic Park world and just like, oh hey,
just
T-Rex.
beats everything to death.
Just like sets up Velociraptors like 9 pins and just throws his hammer at him.
Yeah.
And make a funny Photoshop gif. But yeah, so it'd be kind of neat to see Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill on the screen again. Goldblum's is confirmed for Thor Ragnarok as well.
Oh, that's
he plays the Grandmaster.
Huh. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not on the up and up on my Thor, so I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Oh well. So it'd be cool to see them on screen again.
Oh yeah, but some more exciting stuff. We are getting the premiere for Luke Cage on Netflix this week.
This Thursday night, Friday.
The 30th.
Yeah, crossing over into Friday.
Yep. And I am super excited. I loved seasons 1 and 2 of Daredevil. Jessica Jones was really great. And now we're getting Luke Cage, and Luke Cage was in Jessica Jones, and he was great in that as well. And now he's in his standalone series finally. I think they're just gonna gloss over his origins and flashbacks.
Possibly. I mean, they kind of talked a little bit about it in Jessica Jones whenever he was on that.
Yeah.
They just kind of briefly touched on it.
For those of you who don't know, he was created because they were trying to recreate the super soldier serum. And they ended up... someone locked him into the chamber that was supposed to replicate the super soldier experiment. And he stayed in there for I don't know how much longer, but he stayed in there way longer than he was supposed to, and it was supposed to kill him, but instead of killing him, it just gave him superhuman strength and unbreakable skin.
See, and when I try it, I die.
And the ability to get knocked out by getting point blanked with a shotgun, which...
Of course, that shotgun went right underneath his chin, so...
Yeah.
So...
Luke Cage has a glass jaw, confirmed.
Yeah.
Not that I would fare much better from a shotgun blast to the chin, but I mean, it's Luke Cage. He should have been like, "The fuck was that?" and then just socked him in the face. But I guess they're trying to be more realistic with their insanely strong characters. So I'll give it a pass. I guess that was a slight Jessica Jones spoiler.
Oh, well, I mean, the show's been out for almost a year now.
Yeah.
So. There was one part in the trailer I saw that he's blocking a gunshot with his hand, and he actually screams out in pain a little bit. I'm like, I don't know if Luke Cage would actually cry out in pain a little bit like that. He's like, or something.
Well, I mean, if a shotgun blast to the chin would knock him out, I guess a point blank gunshot to the hand would hurt his hand.
He puts his hand over the barrel, and as it fires, he's like.
So it fired into his hand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would probably hurt.
Him, it would probably hurt. Me, it would probably put a hole in my hand, so...
Yeah.
I have the stigmata,
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Hold on, Matt.
Alright.
I just have a question. So his skin is completely unbreakable?
Except for to adamantium and maybe vibranium. I'm not sure.
And so he just closes his hand over the barrel of the shotgun,
Or over the pistol.
It was a pistol.
The shotgun hit him in the chin, but the pistol isn't. In the trailer, it's just like a handgun.
Yeah, he just puts his hand over the barrel of a pistol.
I feel like that would cause a lot of blowback.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it fucked up the person who was holding the pistol.
Oh, okay. That's all I had a question on.
In the trailer, whenever Luke Cage opened his hand, you can see gunpowder on his hand and everything too.
He's got scorch marks on his hand.
By the way, this is we have a friend of ours
sitting in today.
Yeah, joining me and Burley in my room. This is Matt. Named
we'll call them goblins for now.
Yeah.
Where you
Doctor.
Over 9,000 goblins sitting in your bed.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm definitely gonna watch at least 1 hour, but Friday I got some other things to do that morning, so I'll be able to at least watch like the first episode.
Yeah.
You guys, Scorps and Snowballs, you guys looking forward to the series?
Looking forward to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll binge the whole thing in like a year.
In a year?
Was it you got my Netflix, don't you?
I got Netflix, yeah. I got 2 Netflixes.
Let's see, yeah.
But I also got
Fancy.
a long list of stuff to watch, so I'll get to it eventually.
Start watching them 2 at a time if you have 2 accounts.
You got 2 screens, right?
It
Just
doesn't work as well as you would imagine.
Just go chameleon eyes and watch both at the same time.
Anyway, who wants to take this next one? Between Scorps and Snowballs, who wants to take this next one?
Scorps is welcome to it.
Scorps, you want to take
Bill
it?
Adder has been cast as Alpha 5 in the Power Rangers movie.
In the movie reboot. Which, he's an SNL alumnus. He's been in a few movies that I've seen. He was a voice in Inside Out, from what I read.
Yeah, he played Fear
Oh,
in
okay.
Inside Out.
Makes perfect sense now. Yeah, Alpha 5 was not a big wuss or anything like that. He was just annoying.
Yeah, he was terrible.
He was just annoying.
Only a lot.
I was a little disappointed when we discovered this article because Alpha 5 was going to be a thing. But I guess I should give them points for going for more accuracy, even though they could have totally left out Alpha 5 and no one would have cared, probably. No, there would have been like some mega fan who would have like been cutting himself over it, I'm sure.
No,
But-
even Matt here was,
Yeah, then again, Matt
Not
didn't
excited.
even care.
Well, I mean, I wasn't excited. It was just like I was just kind of curious to see how that was going to be because
Terrible,
it'd be
like
kinda-
Alpha 5.
I mean, it's going
I thought Alpha 5 was funny.
Did you also like Jar Jar?
Not so much.
Had to make sure.
Anywho, so that's gonna be a thing. Be interesting to see a dynamic between Bill Adder as Alpha 5 and Bryan Cranston as Zordon. Let's see, I believe Bryan Cranston's cast as Zordon, right? Pretty sure I heard that somewhere.
I don't
We'll go with
remember if that's true or just a rumor. Oh man, we're gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, 'cause-
Spreading
I'll allow
false
it.
information on the internet.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. So,
Speaking of what we're doing, to anyone who has listened this far, I would like to follow up on the contest I announced on the last video. The first person to comment on our YouTube channel or on the video page or wherever, first person to reach out and let us know which universe each of the flying silhouettes in our logo comes from, will get a physical prize shipped to their door. So, anyone out there listening, have at it.
And it won't be ladybugs.
And it mostly won't be ladybugs.
Mostly.
Tell me, whoever wins, tell me your favorite universe, your favorite geekdom, your favorite whatever, and I will just find something random off Amazon and mail it to you. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
something very interesting for you.
Hooray.
Nice little incentive
Guaranteed
for
to
people
be
to
something
actually,
that you at least enjoy.
a little incentive for people to get to listening to our podcast more.
But they have to listen
Also,
to it.
Matt's
to
mom
get to
is
this.
disqualified.
Yeah.
She does actually. I found out this weekend she doesn't listen to it,
Oh.
so I kind of just held my head in shame for a second, like, oh. Okay, so that's pretty much it for like comic book and movie news for this week.
Yeah,
that
we
I
got
could
some
find.
game news though.
Yeah, we actually found a decent amount of game news in like the past half an hour.
Yeah.
Combined
Pretty
with
much.
what I found over the week.
Pretty much all of this we found within an hour.
Am I the only one who's still playing Minecraft in this group?
Yes.
I play it every
I
once
would
in a while.
love to if the console version did not make me motion sick.
Yeah, Snowballs can't do the the anything really in it, because anytime he goes to build in Minecraft, it makes him motion sick as hell because of the scaling of the I think it not UI
the field
scale.
of vision.
FOV, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can change it too to make it even worse as well.
Hooray.
Can you change it in the console versions now? Because when they first released it, you couldn't, and that's what
I
messed me
might
up.
be able to now. I haven't played the console version in a while, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
Unfortunately, most console games don't let you mess with them, but you could check it out. It might help.
Well, it's installed on my hard drive right now. So, anywho, going with Minecraft, the console version is going to have a cross-platform support. So which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, they did that with Rocket League, and a lot of people are happy about that.
It's never not a bad idea. So
yeah, it's really fun whenever I'm playing against PC people on my Xbox One with Snowballs and Rick, and they're so butthurt that they're getting beaten by us that they're calling us hackers. We had that after the podcast last week. We jumped on some Rocket League, and some dude was just like flaming at us, calling us hackers, and I was just like, no problem. Or no, I was just like spamming, I'm sorry.
Savage.
yeah, actually, it took. I'm actually kind of surprised it took this long for Minecraft to get cross-platforming support.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably not really been requested until recently. So,
of course, I don't really know very many people who have Minecraft on other consoles. I mean, the only people I know have Minecraft or have the same consoles as I do. You know, like PC or PC's not
I know
getting
quite a
this
few
something.
that play on the PS4. So
My buddy who I work with, he did have it for his PS Vita, but he doesn't play his PS Vita anymore.
is anybody?
I don't think so.
yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like the rest of the world with PS Vitas.
It's just,
If I had one, I'd play it.
Yeah.
I was like, my PSP has been
Important
broken
thing
for a while.
is, you and the rest of the world doesn't have one. That is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So speaking of Xbox, the Xbox One briefly had an N64 emulator on it.
Yep, they released it. It was out for a few days, and then I guess Nintendo's like, "Wait, what? No!" And now it's not up.
We don't support emulation. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be a way for people with legitimate digital copies of Nintendo 64 games, of course,
Legitimate.
to play them through their Xbox with emulation, but apparently a lot of the controls were crappy. I think they call those Nintendo 64 controls. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the N64 having shit controls.
I mean, I loved GoldenEye, but whoever decided on the controls for that was basically Hitler.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Exactly.
The best controller for me, though, like the GameCube had like a really great controller. It just it felt like it just fit completely in your hand.
The
Like,
GameCube was the rawness of the N64 refined into something usable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Perfect. Yeah, good analogy. I mean, there's a reason why the Wii U has a adapter for you to use GameCube controllers still.
They were like, we love how unique our Nintendo 64 controller is, but what if you could use it?
They really do love the N64. The Wii nunchuck is the bottom portion of the N64.
Yeah.
Well,
They absolutely love that design for some reason.
I feel like the N64 was like Nintendo's high point, you know? Like, I'm not sure if they've ever reached
Unfortunately, I think that might be true.
Because, like, the SNES was really good, but I think the N64 is, like, what put Nintendo, like, in the highest bracket that they've ever achieved.
Yeah. I don't know. In spite of what everybody says, I know the GameCube definitely wasn't in the ballpark of the PS2 or the Xbox, but it was that and the Super Nintendo were my favorite Nintendo consoles. I love my GameCube.
Yeah, I actually still have a GameCube in my closet, but that's not really being used much now.
Yeah. Well, that's because you can
I
only
still
play
have an
so many.
N64 in my closet.
You can only play so many weeks worth of Smash Bros. Melee before you get tired of it.
I mean, we haven't tried unlocking Master Hand. There was a way you could play as Master Hand, from what I heard.
I think that was just a rumor.
Yeah, and if you go to the truck, you can get Mew.
Oh god!
I actually tried that. Shut up.
I was there when you tried that too. Wasn't it Pokemon Yellow or Blue?
Red, I think.
Red?
I remember.
I don't remember.
I saw something for it the other day.
Ah.
That's the only way I got that.
And when I was in high school, I remember there being a rumor that started from Game Informer because of their fucking April Fool's edition.
Right.
If you got like 30 kills on this one stage with specifically Pikachu, and I don't know why, or maybe that's just who we were using because
the wireframe characters.
Yeah, you have to beat like 30 wireframes in a certain amount of time, and then you'll unlock Sonic, and it was fucking
Bullshit.
Impossible. It was impossible.
Oh god! I remember getting so pissed off. Like you and I were playing that till like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. Back when that meant something.
And then in the next Smash Bros. Game, they're like, "Here, have Sonic."
Oh, yay! He's not that great.
He was okay. He was like,
I couldn't control him very well.
I enjoyed him. He played sort of like a combination of Yoshi and some other character. Because Yoshi had that move where he
turns into an egg and
rolls around, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, my best character's always been Samus, no doubt.
Yep.
Like
Link and Captain Falcon for me. They were fun.
Yeah. Scorps, you've always been kind of like partial to Roy for Melee and or Roy for
Melee and Ike for
okay, I thought I had those backwards for a second.
Brawl. Nah, you got it. But yeah, good stuff, man.
Yep, we rented a pretty good amount for the Nintendo because that's pretty much like what we first started playing for when we started gaming.
Oh yeah, we would play that for like days. But jumping from super fast pace Melee games to slower paced games, XCOM 2 is released for consoles this week. So if you've got a PS4 and Xbox One, you can play XCOM 2 now. And I happen to have both of those, but it'll probably be a while before I get to pick that up, unfortunately. But
yeah,
XCOM is great. I played Enemy Within and Enemy Unknown. Loved them. Fantastic games. It's turn-based strategy over a grid, sort of like if you've played Final Fantasy Tactics, somewhat like that, but without magic but with aliens. And
I've watched you play it a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, and the cover system is fun. It's a little weird sometimes. Everything in that game is a little weird sometimes. But I hear that XCOM 2 is less, I guess, broken, I should say.
Yeah. So I have no opinion to give on XCOM myself, to be honest with you. Yeah. You guys have anything you want to add to it?
I'm not big on turn-based games. I don't know. I've played it before. It's pretty fun for what it is. Just not my bag.
Yeah, you and Goblins have that in common. I don't think he cares much for turn-based.
Not unless it's board games, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll only play Pokemon. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm weird.
Goblins is into Pokemon too. I forgot about that a little bit.
Not anymore,
We used
really.
to be.
I burned out, man. I can't do it anymore.
Fair enough.
Too many things going on, Dad.
I'm not even interested in the Sun and Moon that's coming out.
Comes out in November, I believe, from a couple of coworkers who are super big into it. Anyway, Snowballs, you want to get this next article?
Yeah, there's a little game called Wasteland, if anyone's ever heard of it. It was a game back in the 80s, pretty much inspired Fallout. They made another one a few years ago, and now they're working on Wasteland 3, which is a direct sequel of Wasteland 2, and that's going to be coming out in the future. I don't know, for PC, Mac, Linux, PS4, and Xbox One. If anyone's not familiar with it, it's another turn-based game, story-driven, similar to XCOM, but in a post-apocalyptic universe. This one, I believe it said was released or based in Colorado. I'm not sure if anyone here is familiar with the series.
I'm not really.
I'm not, but I've played Fallout 3 on, and
the original Fallout, though, it was a bit different than the newer ones.
Oh yeah, I would love a turn-based setting for those games. It seems fun.
That'd be interesting. I think I will definitely be interested in playing it. Did you mention the multiplayer at all for this game?
Oh yeah, there's they're working on the game they're working on now has co-op. You can drop in and out of co-op with friends or random people. And the way it works is you can either be in the same area and work together on the same battles, or you can completely separate in the universe and try to finish the campaign separately. And how that works is each player's team will work on missions independently, and the results of that mission will affect the other player in almost completely random ways that you won't even imagine. So it's a bit of a out of the box type puzzle multiplayer game, which should be interesting. I don't like turn-based games, and I'm actually pretty interested in this.
Yeah, it sounds pretty fun.
I can see myself playing it on when I get home from work. So when it comes out, there's no release date yet for it.
No, I think they're just announcing that they're going to start making it more than anything else. So
I hope it gets a console release. I love turn-based games, and consoles don't get crap for.
Yeah, it's
turn-based
PS4,
games.
Xbox One, Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Who uses Linux though?
Who uses Mac?
Hipsters.
I didn't know you had a Mac.
Who says I'm a hipster? I have a PC. You know better than that. Do I look like I make $30,000 a year? Mm-hmm.
No, but neither do most
do
hipsters.
They just act like they do. They just act like they do.
Exactly.
That's one thing I can't.
Y'all drop $10 on a coffee. I make plenty of money.
Well, there was one thing I was watching for. What's
Ray?
Car alarm's going off by the way. So, anywho, there's one thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Last night I wanted to go over real quick. They had to specifically get the Mac logo in focus.
Oh my god,
or
they're
in
just
frame.
like zooming in on the Mac logo repeatedly.
Yeah, whenever they're in the lab for Simmons' character, they had to constantly have the Mac logo in frame whenever they showed a computer.
Yeah.
Well,
They
are
do
you
that
using a
for
Mac
lots of
yet?
shows.
No.
Well, that's your first
showing the logo then.
Yeah,
I
so
guess they weren't showing the Mac logo enough then.
Buy
Clearly.
shit. What if they were showing the Linux logo? I'd probably go out and buy a Linux. Anywho, so jumping over to more gaming news, Destiny 2 is coming to PC.
Eventually. Maybe.
Maybe.
Which is
We'll see.
exciting for people probably, but not to me, because I gave up on Destiny. I'm not gonna buy any more DLCs. I'm not gonna buy the next game.
It's not supposed to be more of the same. It's supposed to be a completely new experience. So reserve your judgment until it's out.
So that's coming. So
Yeah,
Snowballs,
eventually, maybe.
yeah, Snowballs, didn't you mention something before we started the podcast about UK with No Man's Sky?
Yeah, the UK equivalent of, I guess, the FCC has gotten enough complaints on No Man's Sky to officially investigate the developers for false advertising,
Hmm.
for misrepresenting what the product was. I believe the FCC is actually already looking into them as well. Tons of complaints out there. We'll keep you guys updated on how that goes.
I remember hearing about someone wanting to file, or someone on Reddit wanting to file a class action against them, but apparently that's starting to be a thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, definitely keep the.
to me, that's exciting because that means developers won't be able to get away with
Bullshitting?
bullshitting everything about their game.
What I'd like to really see happen over the next years, like if they can make this push, I'd really like to see game developers being held more accountable for what they release too. Like,
Yeah.
I want this whole like bare minimum game, like with DLC options thing to like be reined back in. You know, like I want the games to go back
Destiny.
to being what they were before DLC became a thing. Like, here is a full fleshed out game, and oh yeah, we had this great idea. Not we cut this, and this before release, and then we're gonna throw it at you for $20 a pop after the fact.
Yeah.
A lot of games do that nowadays, and they think it's just common practice now. It was like, this isn't an argument saying that PS2 generation was better, even though we had more complete games released whenever we bought them.
Well, on the other side of the argument, guys, whenever they made games back then, it was a lot cheaper and required way fewer people, and game prices have barely jumped in 20 years.
They've jumped quite a bit, and I disagree with that statement because back then you actually had to make the game.
Yeah.
Granted, the graphics, weren't as powerful, and the engine had a lot less to work with, but they had to fit a fully fleshed out game that worked within all of those constraints, and that is a lot worse than having unlimited memory to work with and unlimited everything.
My rebuttal is someone spent 2 weeks drawing those nipples.
Right?
Damn it.
One worker, one nipple, 2 weeks.
But the good thing is you can just like copy the second nipple, so you don't have to draw the second one.
I guess you could mirror
You
flip
could mirror it. Yeah. Also, I'm not sure DLC is the problem. DLC is a problem.
Oversaturation of it might be a problem, though.
No, the culture that allows DLCs are pre-orders, and pre-orders, I think, is the root of the problem. Because they're not going to bother to make a full game when they've already got 10 million profits before the game even comes out.
I can see that.
I think South Park said it best. It's like when you're pre-ordering a game, you're getting a dick in the mouth. I think is what they said. I'm pretty sure it's what Cartman said in one episode.
I'm pretty sure you made that up, but I agree.
It was something like that. I remember Cartman going on a rant about it.
It was during the Game of Thrones episode of South Park when they were doing the whole Black Friday thing.
Yeah.
That was the deal that PS4 or the PlayStation threw at the kids was it was the Black Friday Bundaroo, which came with 4 controllers, and you got to automatically pre-order for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 5.
That game was fun.
The Bundaroo.
I think South Park actually had a season.
Friday Bundaroo.
Black Friday Bundaroo.
I think their newest season premiered like this past week, or it's gonna be premiering soon. I'm not sure, but I mean, there's one thing I was wanting to bring up whenever Snowballs was going on is his talk as well. Back like 10 years ago, we had games like GTA Vice City and San Andreas that honestly didn't look bad for their day, but they had a hell of a lot of gameplay to fit onto one disc.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally spend 100 hours on Vice City alone.
If
I played that game for a year before I even did the missions. Not
If I
gonna lie.
can also go back to what Snowballs had said about, hardware, like, also with Matt, Vice City looked like shit now. Back then it looked great, but, like, technology keeps jumping forward, and the mediums that we have to work with keep getting better as well, so, like, the expectations should follow that correlation. Like, did you know, I just saw this week, they have made a 1 terabyte fucking micro SD card.
Damn.
That is how far along we've come.
I'm stuck with my shitty.
So, like, memory, like, sure, you've got to pack a lot more into whatever medium that you're using, but, like, back, probably, I think, PlayStation 1 days, we were using, I think it was just CDs to write these games on, but we weren't putting as much on them. And then we moved up to DVDs, and now the games are Blu-ray, so, like, whatever comes out next, like, it will be able to hold whatever we make.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of these guys, too, like, Bethesda's one group that does it, like, they have a game engine, so basically they take whatever they're making, and they just, so they've already got the way that their world's going to work. That's why Skyrim and Fallout both play kind of, because they're using basically the same engine. They just reskin everything, and then make the missions.
Especially the faces. The faces look very similar.
Of course, over time they do tweak the engine a little bit too.
Of course, they have to.
Yeah, it's a necessity.
What I'm saying is, it's not always necessarily starting from scratch. Yeah. You've already got some things that are ready to go.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Because, I mean, some people even go as far as to borrow rights to use the Unreal Engine, the
Havoc
engine,
Havoc physics.
Yeah. And I mean, that's your blank slate. I don't remember what engine Battlefield uses, but when they first started using it, for Battlefield 4, they kicked on wind physics so it would blow trees and stuff around. And whenever they were sniping, they were noticing nobody could hit anything because the physics were actually preset to blow the fucking bullets around too.
Well, I mean, realism, man.
Yeah, and they had to make it so that those physics didn't affect the bullets because like nobody could hit anything.
They should affect it some though, man. I mean, so you remember that one map where you're basically like on an island and there's a tropical storm blowing in.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, a fucking hurricane's level wind is gonna, like, make it impossible to hit anything.
Yeah. I actually think that would have been pretty cool for if, like, that part, the wind did start affecting the bullets maybe to a smaller extent, and then from that point on, everything's like, alright, you're getting in, you're either gonna be shelling people with a tank or a war boat of some kind, or you're gonna be in CQ. Because this is undoable.
Fuck it, either you have a shotgun or you have a knife, let's go at it.
Yeah. But speaking of war games, Call of Duty World at War is going to be backwards compatible for the Xbox, or just recently became backwards compatible for the Xbox. So I played a very little bit of World at War, and I did enjoy it. I didn't play... I never owned a Call of Duty game until the first Black Ops game, and I loved that. I absolutely love the first Black Ops game.
I don't think I ever played any of them.
Does that mean you've never played Call of Duty 2?
Correct.
Oh my god. That is my favorite Call of Duty game. That is one of my favorite games of all time.
Was that the game where you were throwing potatoes at people?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's like a crate of potatoes, and you could just pick them up instead of grenades, and he was like hitting his squad mates in the face with them. But that was in single player. I'm guessing you can't potato people with or in
that was like in the tutorial. They didn't trust you to have live grenades, so you threw potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the tutorial was over, you could like go back and get more potatoes and take them with you.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Sorry for the long post. Here's a
Is
potato.
there ever a potato gun?
No.
I wish.
I know in Metal Gear Solid 5, instead of like throwing rocks or potatoes, you just have like an infinite stack of magazines, like empty magazines, and you could just hit people in the face with them. Like whenever you're roaming around in your base, like I would walk up to one of my soldiers, because you're the leader of a mercenary squad in Metal Gear Solid 5, and they'll just stop and salute you, and I'll just beat them in the face with magazines while they're saluting me. But
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
yeah, more or less. And my favorite thing is whenever you get spotted, everything goes slow motion in Metal Gear Solid 5, and if you're fast enough, you can equip a magazine and throw it into their face, and it'll knock them out whenever everything goes into slow motion.
That's pretty great.
Otherwise, it will not knock them out. If it's not in slow motion, it'll just piss them off. But if everything's in slow motion, it's like your adrenaline kicked and you just like heaved a magazine into their face and knocked them out.
I feel like I've seen those physics, or heard about those physics in other games. I think Hitman has slow-mo physics as well, doesn't it?
It's got pennies.
Yeah, it's slow. I know Blood Money slow mode whenever you were dying, and if you got 3 headshots while it was slow mowing, you'd
Revived.
you'd
Save
be
people.
revived. Like your health would drop to nothing, and everything would start to slow mo and turn red. And then if you got 3 headshots in the time, the slow mo would go away, and you wouldn't be bleeding out anymore.
Yeah. So.
But I have to say, my favorite thing that I've done in Metal Gear Solid 5, holding someone up with a water pistol, getting in their face with it, and then spraying them in the crotch with it. It's like they're seeing me shoot them with the water pistol in the crotch, and they're just still like hands up, surrendering
Hands up,
while
don't
I'm
shoot
blasting them. Yeah.
Hands up,
While
don't
I'm
shoot,
blasting
Black
them
Lives Matter.
in the crotch with a water pistol. And they didn't program it in for them to realize, wait, this isn't a real gun. I should attack this asshole because he's shooting me with a water pistol. No. It's just like, oh, that's a pistol. Oh, my crotch is wet.
I'm allergic to water. Is that water gluten-free?
Hopefully
Hey,
not.
some people are allergic to water, alright?
Really?
Don't
That
make
is
fun.
a thing.
Yeah, I know. If you get too far into the ocean, the water can kill you.
No, people are actually allergic to water.
No, legit.
Like,
Really?
how are those
Allergic
people still
reaction.
alive?
So the body's made of like 75%
Yes.
water. Are they allergic to themselves?
People can be allergic to themselves.
I know this one girl got hit with chemical burns in her face, and anytime like she cries, she just gets horrible like rashes on her face because like she's allergic to her own tears.
Jeez.
But her tear ducts can hold it in just fine, but like
Her skin.
her skin just no. Like I think it's probably the same thing with water allergies. Like your skin can't handle it, but the inside of your body can.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
I was thinking maybe it might be a regional thing, like whatever's in your local water supply, there might be something that also...
Fluoride.
You're not necessarily
no.
allergic to the water, but you're allergic to something in the water.
Yeah,
Fluoride.
like Snowballs just said, fluoride is in like all water in America, all waters or all public water in America. Like if you have well water, you're not going to have that problem.
No,
but if
it
you
just tastes like pennies.
pennies,
Yeah. If you drink the water without a filter, it tastes like it's got metal in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
That's exactly why I bought a filter. It used to be when I first moved in there and I'd shower, like you could just smell metal, but I don't even smell it anymore.
Mm.
Oh, that's good. So I guess that's about it for news this week. If anybody wants to add anything else to before we stop the show, anything?
Nah, I think we covered pretty much everything.
I think this was a pretty good episode. It's definitely a little bit better than the last episode.
Yeah, our last one was kind of
It lacked personality.
It's
Radio
a bit.
silence would have been better than last episode.
Yeah.
It didn't have any emotion or any kind of personality to it last episode. It's actually, this is our longest episode too.
Yeah, it was not our best episode, but we're working on it. We realized what we did wrong last episode, and we're working around it. Anyone who's listening, please feel free to leave a comment, dislike. But if you dislike, at least tell us what you think we're doing wrong.
Unless you're a troll, then whatever.
Well, I mean, even then, tell us what you think we're doing wrong.
Don't forget about our contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't
which
forget
we
about the
announced
contest
earlier on in the episode, and if you want to know more about it, listen to it.
Yeah.
Go back and rewind it. Anyway,
yeah, winding is the thing.
Scroll back then. Anywho, so I am Caretaker.
I'm Burley Badger.
I'm Caretaker.
Alright. And he's Scorps.
Apparently, he's something.
Where has Justin been?
He's been quiet, so see you guys later.
Take care.